And becoming the best at it and mastering myself and seeing what I have within me. If you decide to drop your buckets where you are and develop your gifts, I grant you, you'll never ever be without. I grant you that your gifts will take you places that will literally amaze you.
Oh boy, oh boy. Arthur, you look so bored, my man. Shout out to whoever's sitting here watching us, as there's somebody in here. We will be getting started. Oh gosh. Oh no, why did I close that?
And becoming the best at it and mastering myself and seeing what I have within me. If you decide to drop your buckets where you are and develop your gifts, I grant you, you'll never ever be without.
Who's in here? Say hello.
You.
Looks like we've got good streaming conditions today. Yeah, looks perfect. Good stream is healthy. That's what I like to hear. Should we wear a glove today? I feel like we're gonna need a glove. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop one on. We're just gonna be hanging out. Ah, Jamie, what's up, man? Got my windows open today. It was like 8 degrees on Monday, and then now it's like 60 something. It's really good for your sinuses, you know what I mean? So good for your sinuses. Your sinuses. Alright, so as with last time, remember, I'm going to be starting from black, and we're going to be working off of the same 2 sprues, and I went ahead and primed the other sprue so we can get cracking on that if need be. So, should we listen to something else while we wait? So let's listen to something else real quick. Hold on. Yeah, it was weird. It was raining here too, I guess last night, and then today too. But I only leave the house for a few things. Coffee, mail, and I guess food. Oh, Jesus. Somebody put me on Instagram. Oh, what is it? Okay. Morning. Alright, girl, whatever. Alright, so, where are we at? Let's play some, let's see. I guess it doesn't even matter if we play, some other kind of music because, yeah. Aha! Because it'll just mute this part of the stream, so who cares? So let's have some fun. Have some fun here, shall we? Let me know if the audio's okay, music is okay, everything's all good. And we'll get it cracking. This song makes me want to move to Miami in the 80s and sell sugar. You know what I'm saying? Sell lots of the sugar. Big sugar. Oh, 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 oh. You can't see what I'm doing. Wait, I forgot y'all can't see what I'm doing. Hold on. Let's see if I can add a camera. Oh, it's upside down. Oh. Oh. Ooh. Let's see. Right hand. Is this right? Can you read that? Secret left? Yeah, okay, cool. Cool. Cover my face. There we go. Arthur's asleep in the window, like a true champ. Like a true champ. Where is my coffee? My dudes. We are in trouble if I don't have that sweet, crisp elixir. Arthur, what'd you do with it, man? Yeah. Oh, that's what I need to do in the event. Just post the link in the event too, since that, I guess, is the only place where people get that info. There we go. Arthur, you should come here, man. Arthur, come here, what are you doing? Quit playing games, where are his treats? Here we go. Let's feed this cat. here, buddy. Come here. Here he comes. We're gonna get him in his chair. Here we go. We're gonna feed the lion. Wait, where do I move it? Right here? Hold on. Come on, can you jump? Can you make it? Let's see if he can jump. Watch this. Come on. Right here. Come on, be brave. Arthur, come get your treat right here. Come on. He's literally just like afraid to jump right now. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come get this treat right here. Quit playing. Come on. You can do it. Jump. Here, jump close. Come on. Get in your chair. Okay, he's been a wimparoli. There he is. Alright, let's see if he can do the trick. I'm in a good mood today. Come here, buddy. Look at this. Look at this. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Come here. Ooh. Ooh. Good boy. He's like a dog. Should we get you one more treat? One more? Ooh. Do you like how he reaches for it? There you go. Oh yeah, the coffee. We're missing the coffee. I forgot about that. What time is it? That's what we need to check. Man. We got a little bit of time left. Arthur, you're so happy today. Oh, look at you. Oh, you're a big dog. What a big puppy. Look at this big puppy right here. Such a big puppy. Hey, puppy. You know what's funny is I don't even think I have the right colors to do the palette that we want today. So we're gonna be struggling together for sure. Big time struds, bro. Got 150 people have reacted to that picture from the stream yesterday in the Reaper group. That's a lot of people. Brian, you missed us giving Arthur some TREATs. He was doing tricks for him. Oh, look at this kid. What a good kid. You wanna fight? Should we fight real quick? You wanna tussle? Watch, he's gonna attack. Look at this guy. This is what I deal with all day. Look at this. Hey, that's the painting hand. Hey, chill. Hey. Alright, so I need to grab the coffee. I need to make sure Arthur right here chills out. Look at him. You see him staring at the camera like that? He's in a weird mood today, too. Must be the weather. So, let me see. Gosh, watching him attack me on the delayed cam is so funny. I don't really have any, let me see. Let's just play, well, I don't want to play the actual song because I feel like they're going to immediately kill the stream if I do that. So, what does this one sound like? Let's see. Alright, so the early part of the stream is going to get muted if anything gets tagged, so it's okay. We're just hanging out anyway. But we'll get started here. I don't know, 5 minutes. Arthur's extremely unimpressed. He just does not care. How do I move this? Okay, right there. Moving things around before I switch that camera. There we go. Yeah, so let me figure this out. And I'll be right back. They gave me my coffee for free today. so that's cool. Free coffee. Alright, so, whatever, let's just get started. I think that sounds good. I gotta do laundry and painting as soon as we're done with this, so let's get it started, shall we? Oh. Oh, look, we got my little gift down there. Alright, so remember, looking at what we worked on last time, we had these little weapons. I may actually need to close the window. Yeah, I need to close the window. Hold on. Or at least the blinds here. I'm wondering why the contrast is like that. It's like super blown out. Ah, let's not do the glove today. That'll fix it. There we go. And then remember we have this sprue as well that we're gonna be working on. Look at that primer. Actually, this wasn't even primer, I used black paint. I was super lazy. My airbrush was not in commission, so I'll just go ahead and do that again. So, as you can see from the palette on screen, these are the colors that we're going to be attempting today. If you are a part of the palette tier, remember everybody got a copy of that. So you should have your blue copy available as well. Alright, we're going to let this chill out. I guess I'll switch over to our regular music here. So that way nothing gets el mutado, if that's Española for mute. I don't know if it is, to be honest. Alright. So remember, ask questions if you have any as we're moving along. But let's just get cracking. So, for this, you're gonna need a deeper sort of denim blue, some type of teal. If you don't have that, I don't have that, so I'm gonna be mixing it. And then just sort of like a sky baby blue and then white. But you're wanting to move from a deep, almost purpley blue to a green sort of teal to a baby blue to a white. So it's gonna be a transition from a few different hues outside of what we were doing last time, which was just working with white and black, right? Or a shaded metallic. This time we're not messing with shaded metallics at all. This is just straight up doing colored weapons like this. So, first thing we're gonna do is the big sword on the axe sprue. And remember too, last time I said I wanted to do the axe again as well as the big sword, so that's what we're gonna be doing. So, I actually weirdly think this color might work for me, this Delta Creative, which, you know me, normally I'm not like really into their paints, but it may work. Actually, I'm thinking okay, so this is sort of a teal. All right, I think I got all the colors I need. So I'm gonna get some black on the palette here. Is this still alive? That is still alive. All right, let's set it up. All right, so I'm gonna do the same thing I did yesterday. We're just gonna literally like line all the colors out on the palette because it makes it easier for you guys to sort of keep track. Okay, we've got a bunch of black. Get this sort of darker blue. I'm actually super pumped. I didn't even realize I had this color that it would work so well. But it is more pigmented and sort of thick, so I'm gonna add not a ton of water, but I need to add quite a bit to sort of get it up to par with the rest. There we go. And then this Reaper color, marine teal. Shout out to the fam at Reaper. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. And I think I'm just gonna use pure white after that. It's kind of scary because I'm almost out of this pure white. I can go get some more though. All right, bada bing, bada boom. Let's do it. So, we're gonna go for that basic pattern. Let me go ahead and edit this for you, the structure on it. All right, so we want. All right, so we need to transform it counterclockwise, and then I want to invert it, so we need to flip. Nope. There we go. All right, so now we're just gonna be copying like we were last time. Or wait, is that wrong? No, it's not wrong. So I'm not gonna be doing the one on the right. We're doing the simpler version on this. Bigger sword. So first thing I'm gonna do is start with my really dark blue here. Make sure it's nice and thin. Starting on the bottom and on the top. Pushing that pigment up. I really should have trimmed the tip of that sword, but it's okay. And then on this side. Wait, was I doing that wrong? Oh, no, okay. I got confused for 2 seconds. You can't even see it. All right, so that obviously tells us that that was too thin, so we'll do that again. There we go. And we may do one more round here once this dries, just to make sure we get it really settled in. The true test is how I'm gonna work Cavalry Brown in. Okay. 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 That's, you know, all right. I see what we're doing there. All right, I get it. You know how I am about that Cavalry Brown. Like, don't. It's like you're talking bad about Arthur. Like, that's a serious offense. Cool. So now I'm going to mix this and that teal, sort of get us rolling in the right direction. Start with the edge first. Still pretty subtle, but it'll start building much faster as well once we actually get to that secondary color. All right, then on that side, headed towards the middle again. There's the opposite direction. Oh, okay, or we can just do that. Going at an angle for no particular reason other than just helping me to feather the paint. But the angle is the same on both sides, so... Or sorry, the angle is reflected, so like a 45-degree on one side, negative 45 on the other, whatever that would be. I'm thinking in Photoshop terms, of course. Okay. Getting there nicely. What is this? What are you? Get off of there. I don't want to see you on there. Okay. All right, now moving down to the actual teal here. See, how can you talk bad about Cabaret Brown and then you know you're gonna go buy some? Layering from the top down on the right-hand side of the blade. Now we're starting to see some real action. So my teal isn't as green as I would really want it to be. I could mix it to be that way, but I'm just not going to mess with it. Alright, so now I'm going to mix white into that teal. I probably stepped it up like 2 steps in terms of brightness, but you'll see before I apply just how bright it actually is, so just wait a second, so that way you don't make any rash decisions of your own. Let me mess this up, not you. Cool. Even though this is a process that takes time, it is pretty satisfying once it starts to come together. It's kind of like whenever I paint a project that's like bulk, like a lot of minis. If I'm doing a bunch at the same time, that means they're not going to look good until the very end, right? Because they're all going to come together at once. And I always sort of appreciate that than sort of standard painting. Cut this down a little bit right here. There we go. I feel like this line's a little bit too strong, so I'm gonna go back and try and correct that as well. There we go, chilled that out a little bit. Just cleaning up those edges right next to my edges, if that makes sense. Just to make it look a little bit crisper. Okay, so I'll probably go back over that one more time. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna go back over one more time with the color that we just used just to make sure that we're doing all right on coverage. I think we are though. Yeah. Gonna make this go up one more full brush tip of white before we move to direct white. Come on. That's alright, I'll just clean that edge up. My sword doesn't have as sharp of an edge right there at the top as it does on the other parts of it, so yours may differ than mine, but mine's being a little bit difficult. Center line, carefully. Carefully. It's not straight, but it's okay. Doesn't have to be super perfect. Your eyes are going to do most of the work on this effect when you're actually looking at it. Cool. Alright, so yeah, screw it. Let's just go straight up. Well, I'll fix this real quick. Hold on. I was about to say, let's just do the white, but hold on. I'm going to fix this tip right here. It's too thin, too thin. What have I done? There we go. Oh, it's because there's a ton of water where I'm putting my brush. Duh. All right. Clean up some of this other edge work. Remember, making sure that the body of your brush is wet allows you to use it like a pen like this, which is how I prefer, right? To do most of the work. Alright, so now I'm just gonna go pure white. Now my water's dirty, and there's probably blue in my brush, but it's gonna be as close to white as we're gonna get. And I want to be extremely careful with the white. I'm gonna do the edges first, just to get it out of the way. Depending on if you left the weapon on your sprue, this may or may not be easier. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna push that. And the other side. You know, obviously we're doing a much more illustrative look today, so that's why we have these lines and everything, but it's also faster for you guys since we're not necessarily trying to super blend the effect in. Yeah, so, oh, that's, yeah, actually, Jamie, that's funny, right? So that's sort of what I was explaining right then, was that, so you could be doing this in super thin layers in order to build up that contrast, or transition, I should say. Let me readjust this so that way you can see the effect a little bit better. So this sword would be in any position where that part is the top part of the reflection. But, so that's sort of the idea, right, is that you're able to do this faster, and it's not as time consuming. You also can be a little bit more liberal with, like, your brush strokes and the amount of paint that you're using. Now, we can do one that's like way more blended out if you want to do that, but this definitely as a warm-up is very, very easy and simple to do. But I think it turned out all right. I think the top part of the blade right there is a little bit off, but I think that's actually just like the sculpt in that area. I don't necessarily think that that's the line work. So obviously I could go back through and redo it and it would probably straighten itself out, but this is a very, very good warm-up example. So. But, okay. Okay, let's do one of our axe edges. So, let's see which one we want to do here. Let's rotate this around. feel like we did that one last time. Which one did we do last time? Ah, we did the opposite. So then, yeah, let's do this. So we're going to be copying this right blade right here to the best of our ability. Or, actually, we don't really need to do that necessarily, but we'll use it as our reference example. So I'm just going to do the right-hand side of the blade. So as we were doing previously, we're going to start off with this dark blue. So our brightest points are at the bottom down here. And it goes about midway. Let's see, right? Yeah. And then at the top, but much smaller. Okay, and then what else do we have? We've got that color coming in a little bit over here. With this, I'm just going to be much looser. There we go. You can actually see the reflective of the wet paint, so you know where I'm putting it. There we go. Just let that chill. This color, of course, is not intense, so we can be much more relaxed with its application. So sort of like how we were doing 45-degree angle with the brush strokes on this, I'm literally going straight based upon the, I don't really know the way to put this, but the curved edge from the body of the axe. So you see how the brush is right now? How I'm just following that natural curve by drawing straight lines? That's effectively pretty much just the technique, but as with last time, it's just going to be much more noticeable once we actually sort of start highlighting up. So now that I have that, I'm going to be moving into more of that base blue highlighted up with some of that teal. This is where we're going to actually start seeing more of the axe taking shape. So I'm going to do the edge just to sort of set us right. The edge on this side's nice and crisp, which is good. Oh, chill out. Alright, so this little sort of darker edge work is sort of setting the stage for the rest of all of the color that we're going to be applying. At least for me, it helps me sort of visually compartmentalize it. Okay, so now I'm just doing straight up teal. My palette's getting out of control already. Pretty typical. Okay, so at the very top, it's about right here. It is important that you're getting the right angle. That way it's much more convincing. Ooh, I have that window open. Now I need to sneeze. Uh-oh, that means there's allergy stuff going on. I'll make sure not to sneeze while we're working, so that I don't just ruin everything. Okay, and then the bottom. You're essentially going in like a fan direction, right? Like it's fanning out on the blade edge in the direction that you want that reflection to hit. You can see this one's coming together real nice. Yeah, I think it looks good. Making sure I'm keeping up with my edges as I ruin that top one. Now where is the, okay. So this I could potentially do. More of a stippling. So using the tip of the brush to sort of put in that highlight, since it is sort of a drastic highlight right there. But so let me see. So it goes above this one. So the let me explain what I just looked at there. All right. So what I'm comparing without that song. Okay. So you notice how on the example photo, the darkest area sort of begins where this transition area happens. So that's what I was sort of looking at, was where I needed to taper this edge out to. So it's just above that line, right about there. Rewrite the brush because it was giving up on me. That's good enough for me. Ooh, buddy. Ooh, buddy, that looks good to me. All right. So, from my teal, I'm going to add one brush tip of white. Sorry. Then I'm going to add one more brush tip of teal. That went a little bit too bright, too quick. Thin it down a little bit. Okay. Do the edges first, because we don't mess up if we use the edges first. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, I knew I just shut that down. All right. One sec. Oh, come on, really? About that. I'm rearranging my USB slots. Okay, and then of course it reset that. Okay, hold on. We'll be back in action in 2 seconds. There we go. All right, continuing. Doing our edges first. All right. Remember, only when you're doing stuff like this, you only want to use the side of your brush, but you want to make sure it's at like a 35 or 45 degree angle, so that way you get that really thin edge. Like so. Now this part's a little bit tricky, so do please be careful. We're gonna go down that swoop. If you need to meet in the middle, do that way. I don't know how I'm gonna end up doing it, but let's see. Okay, so meet in the middle. Whew. Stressful. That was a little bit too thick. I can clean it up, but it'll be alright. Okay, so now we know where our brightest areas are, of course. Okay. Now, I don't know if that angle is right. It's a little bit off. Tempting to fix. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back in and darken it up a little bit on the edge. Okay, so I think that's pretty much okay. And then this portion down here. Alright, so now we are just going to be moving our way up to white, as we were on the other weapon. I think this is turning out pretty much perfect, though. Whoop. Alright, so I'm going to add one brush tip of white. Oh, I hit it again. Stupid. I just need to, like, move my leg out of the way completely. Okay, this is the game that we're playing. This is annoying. Sorry, guys. This camera's always so fidgety. This happened a lot before, really just in general. This used to happen all the time. Okay. Don't touch it. Don't touch it, Josh. All right. All right, going for white. Wow, we have had 0 drop frames, knock on wood, this entire time. That's awesome. I'm actually gonna fix this edge on top. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. Jeez, Arthur. Okay, so now I'm gonna reshape that edge. First with black, and then we'll move our way through the colors. Damn it. Okay. Too thin down. All right, there we go. Okay, so then I'm gonna clean that up here in 2 shakes. I also feel like I need to clean that edge on the bottom down there, so let me see if I can figure that out. Obviously this is going to be a little bit difficult. Okay. Good enough for me. Pretty sick effect. You mean like this underside right here? I just wouldn't paint it. If you don't see it, I wouldn't paint it. Pretty much how I play. Cool. I was glad that was the right one. Let me check my phone's going off all crazy. What's up, see what? Ah, okay, I see. All right. So, what should we tackle next? What are you guys feeling? Out of all 3 sprues, for the people that are watching currently, tell me which one we should do next that you would find interesting. We haven't touched anything on the 3rd sprue. 3rd sprue, everything's a lot smaller. Maybe more of a challenge than not. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. I know you guys are watching. But this sprue's turning out great. Or has turned out great, I should say. Whoa, chill out. So do let me know real quick. Okay. But if no one says anything, I'll just sort of pick one. What's an interesting texture we haven't really messed with? You know, so like, obviously this wouldn't be blue for any reason, but that's an interesting texture to paint, sort of the sides of the crossbow there. Let's look at this one. Now I know I wanted to do the mace, because the mace is confusing, but we can save that. Let's do, where is my actual hobby knife? I like how my instinct is to like immediately look at the floor, but it obviously isn't on the floor. I have 3 hobby knives and they're all over the place. Okay, well, anywho. Alright, the Morning Star. So, I'm just gonna break these off just to get better attention here. Alright, so the Morning Star, obviously a little bit more advanced since it's such an odd shape. Sorry about that. So essentially it's combining, mine's a little bit wonky, this side's better, okay. So it's combining 2 shapes. It's combining the sphere as well as spikes. Yeah, Jamie, you would just use these to substitute weapons. Or maybe add weapons to a character, like on their back or their hip or something. So I'm gonna rotate this. So we need to flip it. Flip it. There we go. So we're gonna be copying that sphere pattern. We need to go real close, I guess. Okay, so we're gonna be copying that sphere. So starting off with our dark blue, as we were. I am gonna do the sphere to where it is sort of that right-hand corner. But I'm only paying attention to, actually this is so small, I think I'm actually gonna start like a little bit of a step up. There we go. And then I'm doing all of the top edges of the spikes, since the lighting is going to be coming from above. And then the right-hand portion, gosh, this is hard to get on camera. And then the right-hand portion of the center spike. As long as you always think about what you're painting with non-metallic metal in geometric terms, you usually will get close to a realistic effect. Do this bottom just to separate it out. Okay, there we go. So yours should look something sort of like that. Okay. Now we're going to move up a step. Now for this, I'm going to be using stippling, so just the tip of the brush, just because it gives me a little bit more control here as we focus on this right-hand side of the sphere of the mace. Going back in on the tops of the spikes. This thing's tiny. And hard to keep in focus, sorry guys. It should look okay though. Okay. Moving up even brighter now. Still trying to keep it nice and tight. Now it looks like I messed up that set. It's fine. We'll fix this here. It's such a small area. There we go. Now, obviously, you probably would never have a mace that you're painting like this, like some kind of power weapon or magical weapon. Just, I don't know why, but usually maces aren't glowing. I'm trying to think through my repertoire of 5th edition magic items, and I'm pretty sure there is no such thing as like a cool glowing mace, but it's okay. This is just good practice. As the great Allen Iverson said, practice? Talking about practice? There we go. I am sort of working on this three-dimensionally, wrapping around the edge, just that it makes a little bit more sense in my brain as to where I'm headed with some of these highlights. Because it is a bit of a confusing thing. Sorry, I heard a noise. Ooh. Ah, okay. No comment. Okay, alright. I'm sorry, I got heavily distracted. Okay. Alright, let me see. Where were you even? There we go. Okay. So I was afraid it was going to get messy here at the end, but just because it's such a weird area to do that transition. But once we zoom out, you'll see that it is relatively believable. It was really weird. Yesterday there was a call out for people to come teach at a convention, and like all these Twitch people were like applying, and I asked the question. I was like, do you guys, you know, pay for the ticket? Do you reimburse for travel? Do you do any of that? And they're like, no. And it kind of blew my mind. There were so many people that were willing to just go do stuff like that for free, and then they take a percentage of whatever you charge for the class. So it's like, and they don't tell you what that is. I forget. So it's kind of like. Just seems so weird. Because I'm definitely not going to travel across the country for free, pay for a ticket, pay for somewhere to stay. Like, that's stupid. Okay, so we're gonna pull back, look at the finished effect here. So honestly, pretty believable. Again, you would really need to paint the whole thing to have it look more realistic, because like you can see, well, we'll just, hold on, we'll just do it really quick right here. We'll do it from this angle. We'll just do it super quick. So I don't really know when I scraped all the paint off of that. This is again the one that, the sprue that was not actually primed. I just painted it with black acrylic. There we go. So if I've done that much. Okay, now I'm just mixing in black with all these colors. Okay, we're just making a mess on the palette. Don't worry about it. No biggie. Okay, now we need to get this white going on. Okay, so there you go. That is a more realistic look at sort of how an object like that would be painted. You just have to be cognizant, right, of wherever your source light is compared to the geometric shape. So just like the other two weapons, you're really just using the geometric shape versus the direction of the light that you're looking for. There we go. And I do want to see the work that you've done, so do make sure that you're sharing these after you've worked on them, because I've only seen like 2 people's. So, if we do another, which would you like to see? So we've already done the mace / Morningstar, whichever. We have a nice dagger there that's pretty thick. On this one, that axe really isn't that impressive. I think this axe is obviously a better representation of that. We can do this longer sword right, or not longer, this stubbier sword right here. That could be pretty good. These were so thin that it's sort of a futile exercise because you're literally just going to be using the side of your brush the whole time. So like if we were going to do it, I'll just do it super fast on one edge. So literally with this, the whole thing would just be, okay, we got the color, yada yada yada. I'm gonna push it down on the side of my brush like this. Look at how fast I'm about to do this. Okay, get it down to sort of that white final section. So you can see for much smaller, oh well, I guess I gotta do this, hold on. Gotta make it super difficult. Okay, come on. I can see how this would be so much harder if you weren't painting them on sprue still. And my brush is nowhere near ready for that. Oh my gosh, it's still too wet. What is going on with this paint? Oh, I wonder if it's because I have the window open, the humidity's different in here now. It's different sort of than what I'm used to. Yeah, that's what's going on. This is being weird all of a sudden. It's hot in here now. Okay, well, whatever. Even my wet palette's completely drying and this thing is like super, 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 super full of water. But when it comes to small stuff like that, you literally are just painting the edge to get your desired effect. But, alright, let's see. Okay, nobody said anything, so let's just do this fat sword. Make some room for it. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. So with this one, I'm gonna see how fast we can do it. So whenever you guys are doing that, because we have two sides, oh, we only have one side. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, like, I wanna see you going slow versus you going fast. So let's actually do a different okay, so we aren't gonna do the line technique on this one. I think that's what we should do. We're gonna do like your traditional, you know, super smooth layering and glazing. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna glaze it in. Of course, I was like immediately making mistakes, but that's fine. So for this, obviously, you want much, 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 much thinner paint because we want it to be smooth. So that means I'm going to be pulling the brush in the direction I want it to taper so that I can really try and get that smooth transition. So you can see how it's wet right there, right? I'm just trying to get it to pool up into that corner. Looking good. Where is the actual teal? Hold on, my teal has been tainted. Got too dark. I don't know what you mean, Jamie. So, with non-metallic metal, it means that you're doing this technique on every single part. That would be metal. So, if it was metal, then yeah, that's what you would do. Otherwise, you would just paint it up typical to whatever it, you know, you think it should look like. Only one time have I mixed metallics with non-metallic, but it was because of just the object that was being painted. It was going to look better if it was non-metallic, so... And it worked out well. But it's... if you're going to do something like that, it's got to be such a selective process and idea that it's really hard to gauge when that may even be a possibility for you. I wasn't happy with that transition, that's why I'm going back. Alright, so we got a nice, really smooth transition building up there. So let's mirror the other side. Of course, I'm pushing the pigment with the brush at like a 35-degree angle. Maybe less than that to get it to dry and taper the direction I want it to. This one obviously takes a little bit more concentration and finesse. And having super thin paint on a wet palette and having an ISO brush is sort of like the real crux to the recipe, unfortunately. Depending on what you use, at least for your palette. Okay, push a little bit brighter. All right, so let's look at that difference here between technique. What should I do? Should we, let's just get rid of this guy completely. And we'll just put these two like this. So you can see the difference there. One being much more textured, the other one just being a lot smoother and more realistic. So really for you, it's just whatever you like, you know, in terms of preference. I sort of like this right-hand style a lot more. Mostly just because if you're looking at a miniature on the table, it sort of helps guide your eye into the direction of the actual reflection that you're creating. This one's cool as well. It obviously works depending on the technique you're trying to pull off, or just the overall look and tone of the miniature. Obviously, too, if you're someone that airbrushes at all, and you're doing non-metallic metal with an airbrush, like all you're going to be doing is masking one side of the blade, spraying it, masking this side of the blade, spraying it, and then you do edge work and you're done, right? But honestly, that's going to end up taking you probably just as long as if you were just painting it, right? It's just it's an ease thing, like so. A good way to think about it, like let's say I need to do 20 swords or something in non-metallic metal, and I'm just like, I need it to look really good, and I don't want to have like mental strain and eye strain while I'm working, because that focus, right, obviously is eye strain on you if you're working with a bunch of bright lights like I am. So to save that is an instance in which you would do the airbrushing to actually do the non-metallic metal, and it just sort of saves you to be able to keep painting longer for that session. That's really the only time that I would necessarily do that, or if it was a larger blade. So if it was something really big, like that, you know, the big Reaper giants that have those huge broadswords and stuff like that, I would spray that thing to get the like that base tone down, and then I would go in with the brush and actually do the texturing myself. So, but oh, look at that! It's like that weapon rack was created on its own. Look at this. Here we go. Let's get the family photo. And get rid of this guy. Hold on. Oh, look at that. Beautiful, happy family. So, let's see, what are we looking at? Almost, yeah, okay, we're longer than the first class. That's pretty cool. Hey, get out of there. There we go. So, hopefully you enjoyed this one. Being involved with color, obviously, this could technically be like a really cold steel, maybe. But obviously, this is like just crazy coloration of weapons, so probably not a steel. if you can use this technique if you're doing gold, bronze, something like that, and you'll get just as fine results. It's just up to you picking the correct colors. Remember, the non-metallic metal guide, I have selected colors that do that for you, so that way you don't really have to think about it. But if you're not too concerned about color choice or anything like that, you can just kind of have at it and have fun. So that's really the only difference there, is the inclusion of multiple colors that work together, that do contrast well. Another thing that you can attempt to do that I know some people do is using I'm confused. Okay, well, we'll use this as an example. So imagine I wanted to make this a different color. So one thing to keep in mind, you can paint everything straight up black to white, and then you can tint it with an airbrush to give it a color. Now, obviously, that's a lot of work, so if you're doing batch work or something like that, that's probably the only time you would want to do it. But, I'll glaze this really quick just so you can see. If I wanted this to be a separate color, like a bronze or something. Clean that up a little bit. But you can see it's drying already. So I tinted the black and the white, and then I'm gonna get a much brighter yellow to do that final edge tint to make it look gold. Actually, I probably should have started with the brightest one and then worked my way down, just because that's sort of how colors work, but we'll just pretend I did it the right way the first time. There we go. Quick and easy gold, just like that. See how simple that was? So, you can always paint that way as well. And then, of course, at the very last stage, you would probably mix your gold and your white to do your edge work. So I'll do that really quick, just for due diligence. Oh, God, sorry about that, guys. That was egregious. Oh, my God, I just messed it up because my brush had blue in it. Now I had green. Hold on. I feel like that's something I'm gonna keep running into here. All right, whatever, we'll just use this color. So while this isn't as truly perfect as if you had been mixing the colors yourself, it's still gonna be really, really close to a gold. And if you were tinting with the airbrush, it's actually much more effective. So for those of you with an airbrush out there, definitely keep that in mind if you're ever sort of struggling to make a color work. Like if you're really good at just doing black and white, non-metallic metal, and you want to sort of expand to something else, just remember, you can always use your airbrush to tint. See? That's all it takes. So all we did was glaze on top of the application that we already did, and then just sort of go back and touch up your final highlight area. And that's it. Bada bing, bada boom, right? So hopefully that works for you. Gave you quite a few different techniques. Well, not quite a few, but 3, I guess, technically. But I do definitely want to see sort of your end result, especially with the color. The black and white's a little bit different just because it, you're only working with 2 colors, and it's easier to sort of hide your mistakes. With this stuff, it's a lot harder to hide your mistakes. So I do definitely want to see you guys upload photos, tag me in them if you can as well. I'm going to keep checking the group because obviously, like I said, the algorithm has been really messing with our post notifications. So, but beyond that, that's pretty much it for the class today. The upload will be available, obviously, indefinitely. And then I'm also going to make a video here relatively soon about how we're going to transition out of Patreon. So I think what we're going to do is we'll charge Patreon for this month, so the upcoming month. And then what I'll do is I'll create essentially a 1 month or at the end of the month trial, essentially. So you guys will all have your own private link in the Patreon group here on Facebook, where all you have to do is go through, sign up for whatever tier you want. It'll be free until the end of the month, right? But it'll get you signed up, and that will allow me to just shut it down right, on the Patreon end, and then it'll automatically pick up on the website. But I'll make a video explaining that, literally showing like I'll just do a screen mirror type situation, showing you like, hey, this is how you find out what you want to sign up for it. It'll be free until the end of the month, boom, and that's it. And then that way you get charged and then it's over with and I don't have to mess with Patreon ever again. So, but I think that is it for today. I definitely want to see your photos. I think these turned out looking really beautiful. I always like this color combination. I think it just looks really good, but that is it. So make sure you show me your photos, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you really on Monday. I think I don't really have a reason to be slammed enough to not, so I'll see you then.